I started crying. So my husband got me and we went on to an area where I could have some privacy. But um it was a bittersweet moment because it was like, yes, I did it on one hand, but the cost, my God, nobody can prepare you for the cost of your dreams. And it's going to cost you, you know? And so I was just like, whoo. After that, I'm like, if I can make it through that, I can make it through anything.
Hello and welcome to the Brand Big Podcast, where we highlight high achieving female founders and the bold, innovative, and genuine stories behind their brands. I am your host, Jonatta Tashira, and today I have the honor and the pleasure of sitting with me on the virtual couch, a print and marketing expert, Mrs. Judaea Morris. Judaea is in the print and marketing industry as well as branding. She's a creative, y'all, for sure. And she is making a big impact in the marketplace by empowering other entrepreneurs to build profitable brands. Woo, that was a tongue twister. And so today I want to share with you a bit about Judaea, who I now affectionately know and call Dia. And so Judaea Morris is a passionate entrepreneur based in North Carolina. Yes, come on, NC, specializing in print marketing and experiential marketing. As the founder of DITA Print Studios, Judaea helps brands create memorable experiences through tailored print marketing solutions, serving brick and mortar businesses and service providers. With a strong belief in delivering exceptional customer service, Judaea has built a successful six-figure business focused on making print marketing stress-free for event organizers and business owners. In addition to running her company, Judaea is a motivational speaker and an author, sharing her story of resilience and overcoming adversity to inspire aspiring entrepreneurs and professionals. And so I introduce to some, present to others, Dia. Hey, Dia, and welcome to the Brand Big Podcast, girl. Thank you for stopping by today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, we're excited. I'm excited about this conversation. Um, I was on your podcast recently, and that was such an honor. And to see all that you are building, all that you have built, it's just amazing. And I want to bring our audience into that. I want them to know your story, get to know Dia, but also the DITA Print Studios and all that you have to offer over there and the big brands that you're building for other entrepreneurs as well. So let's get into it. So,
Let's
Dia,
do it.
will you tell us about your background and how you got to the place that you are today, being this high achieving, successful female founder?
Wow. So I would say my background, and I use the word resilience for my life story. But my background, I grew up in lower middle class in government housing. I am the oldest of five kids on my mom's side. So I was the little mom, is what my siblings would call me. And just growing up having a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. And I had a lot of younger ones looking up to me, right, to do and provide and to kind of turn around and I would like to say provide an easier way for them than I had myself, right? And so that was my upbringing. I watched my mom work a job, get off work, and do her business. She had in-home daycare, so she was also, kind of a hustler and just kind of growing up in that environment. My dad was kind of always going. He was a little old school, where he believed, the men go out and work and bring home the bacon, and the women take care of the kids. So that was my upbringing, and in my early adulthood, definitely made some bad decisions in men, like most women, and kind of got turned around and had to rebuild my life. And in the process of rebuilding my life, I met my now amazing partner and my husband, and my best friend, who has truly helped me create my businesses and create a new life for myself. And I have been able to do the same for him. That kind of led me to where I am today.
That is amazing. And I love how you even recognize, like, your mom having a daycare in the home. You recognize, like, hey, I was built to become an entrepreneur because I was immersed in that environment, seeing what entrepreneurship was like. And
Yes.
also just to see how you have become this woman who is, like you talked about, you helping your siblings and you being the little mama, right, in the house, and you making them or affording them a path that allowed them to not have to start where you did or to go through the things that you went through. They had a better start. Like, I even see you doing that with your clients. And I know I'm not behind the scenes in your business, but from the outside looking in and what I've seen, you provide for your clients, like, you do the same for them. Like, you're
Yeah.
making it, like you talk, like your bio says, you're making it a stress-free print experience for them, and it's transformational. And so I just love how God works and how he will build on all of the foundational blocks of our lives to get us to where we're called to go and those who we're called to serve. So that is amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. Amazing. So, Dia, I want us to flow now into segue. That's one of my favorite words. Segue into what made you to enter the branding and the marketing space. Like, where did that all come from? And specifically, you focusing on print marketing, right? Because there are not a lot of us Black females that are taking the industry by storm. Like, it's a male dominated industry, and normally it's Caucasian men who are
Yes.
the founders of those companies, right? And so
Yep.
us as Black women, you taking up space in that arena, like, how did that all come about? And what are some of the risks that you had to take along the way?
Wow. Whew, that's a lot. So I started in the pandemic. It was not my first business idea though. And even with my mom having in-home daycare, I didn't look at that as entrepreneurship because I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what that word was or what that even was. But I did see, okay, you can make money outside of having a job. So I did kind of have that mindset. And so as I got older and I started working in jobs where I just wasn't happy and I wasn't fulfilled, I started thinking about different ways where I could make money on my own. And fast forward to 2020, the pandemic, I was pregnant with my last baby, my third child, third natural child. And I was like, okay, I'm going to need more cash. We were building a house, living with my father in law at the time. And I just knew we needed more cash, not just for the closing of the house and all that and furnishing the house, but for this baby that was coming. And so I got to thinking about, see a need, feel a need, right? What is something that I could do that almost every single person who has a business needs? And my first business idea as an adult was something called the beat cloth. So if anybody is watching this and knows what that is, that means they're a OG. OG. Okay, and I wouldn't say fan, but supporter base, like a OG. So I had created this cloth that you would put on your makeup vanity to protect your vanity from the makeup and dirty, and you could just take it and throw it away. Or my original design, you could clean it, reuse it. And my second design, you could take it and throw it away. So in that process, I learned, okay, I'm going to need patents, I'm going to need manufacturing, all of that, right? And I just didn't have that kind of money. So it kind of died out because COVID came and I was getting a lot of my materials shipped from like China and India. And I had a big package that was supposed to be delivered, and it was I didn't get that package until I think 4 or 5 or 6 months later, like 6 months into COVID. And so I had to pivot. And I had been printing my own labels and my thank you cards and even some of my business cards already for the beat cloth. And so I was like, maybe I should do this for other people. So many people were starting businesses in the pandemic, right? It was literally businesses popping up every day. And I'm like, they all need these things. So that's how I got started. And originally I got started with just pretty much making like stickers. I would make different craft items and things of that nature, and it was just picking up and gaining momentum. And one day I had a sticker, I did a label order for a lady, a really sweet lady, I love her to death. And I didn't know the influence she had on the community at the time, but when she posted the picture of the labels I did for her products, it went crazy. Like, and I had got 35 orders that day. And that really kind of picked everything up, and I was like, okay, this print thing is, it's, I have something here, you know. And so that's how it started. 2 years from that date, I had my first brick and mortar space. And I had also kind of became a landlord in a sense, and was renting out space to other entrepreneurs. Started a store where I was showcasing other black owned brands. And fast forward to now, so we've made almost $200,000 in sales so far to date.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. And I wanna hear about the risk part because we hear the success, we see the success stories, right? And we're no strangers to risk. We're no strangers to stepping out when other people say, "Nah, I'm good. I don't know about that. That's too risky," right? We don't even
Yeah.
look at them as risks. We look at them as opportunities. And
Mhm.
I know
Mhm.
you're a fellow Myron Golden, student, right? Even though we might not be in his programs yet, but
Right.
um we both have been a part of his challenge and everything, and you've been in the room with him, so I love
Yeah.
absolutely love that. And
Yeah.
I'm next, but but Myron always talks about seeing the opportunity, and in my words, I love to seize the opportunity because you see, as you said, you see a need, you feel a need. And that's all
Mhm.
about seizing that opportunity and not looking
Mhm.
at it as if, like the children of Israel, when they went in to spy on the land, the promised land, those who did not have the mind of God, they went in and they were so, deterred. They were
Yeah.
downtrodden even. They were just like, "No." Like, they
Yeah.
panicked basically,
Yeah.
and we're like,
They
"No,
wanted
they're
to
too
live.
big." Right.
Yeah.
They're giants in the land, and, yes,
Mhm.
it looks good. Yes, the fruit is good, but we can't no, we can't do that. And so I know you're a woman of determination, like you spoke of yourself in your bio as well. You're a woman of resilience, and I know behind the scenes more than our audience knows, so I know some of what you have gone through to get to where you are today. But will you just tell us some of the risks, like even getting a brick and
Yeah.
mortar, being a black owned or black woman in business, having a black owned business, right? And also being a woman um, of faith who has a high standard and is not willing to, just be non integral in the marketplace. Tell us if you
Right.
want to one risk, two risks, three risks. We're here. We're here for it. We want to know, what did that take?
Yeah. So my initial risk was my friendships. So when I first talked about creating a business, my original business name, I don't even know if I can remember it. But I think it was like TBC labels or something. And I remember my friends at the time was just like, "Oh, that's stupid," or whatever. And starting the business, and then going through some things personally that caused me to see that the people who were around me didn't believe in me. And I remember saying a prayer to God, and I was like, we all say that prayer, like, "God, if there's any snakes in my grass, remove them." But we don't think about the impact of that prayer. And so God told me in that moment, He was like, "Everybody around you is a snake." And I was like, "Well, wait a minute, God, because I'm willing to give up maybe these three, but let me hold on to this one." It was my best friend at the time. And so I cut everybody else off. I cried. I cried. I was hurt in that moment. I cried. These are people who I was spending time with every day. And I cried, and I was like, okay, I have to be obedient in this season because I was going through so much hell in my life. And so I remember cutting all those friends off except one. And God eventually dragged that person out of my life as well, right? And so that was my first risk, my friendships, everything I knew about friendship. These people were like family to me. And then with the brick and mortar space, my God. So, um, you know, being a minority owned business, period, not even including just being a woman, we're not coming into this being backed by these big banks or investors or whatever, right? And so I went into getting a brick and mortar space and did it on my with my own savings, right? From getting paid from a 9 to 5 job and using credit cards. And I refurbished the space myself. Me, my dad, and my husband painted the space. And when I first got the space, I think I was still pregnant at the time. Well, I was at the end of my pregnancy or just had the baby. I can't remember, but I just remember not being able to do a lot of work. And so some of the work was it was a little shoddy. Like putting up the wallpaper wasn't quite perfect. It was a couple bubbles here and there. And just getting into it with some ignorance, not thinking, okay, but now you need security, and now you need people to clean the space, and now you need to fix things when it's broken, right? This is leaking, this failed, this isn't working, and now you got this and that. I had things that were being stolen from me overnight. Putting my sign up was $3,000. I could have never, you know what I'm saying? I was not prepared for what that looked like, having a brick and mortar space, because I had never even envisioned myself having a commercial lease. And so I lost a lot in that process. I will never take it back, but I lost a lot because of just the ignorance of going into that and not really having much financial support. And so, and then when it comes to just business alone, being taken advantage of, like you mentioned, having that integrity and being genuine, right? And so coming into this, and my relationship with God wasn't even what it was now, but I was in that process of like fine tuning, and God was kind of cleaning me up in His fire. And I have always had a genuine heart, and so, and it's crazy. I actually talk about this in my book. I just wrote the chapter today about how when you have a genuine heart, there are people that will attach themselves to you because they need your genuineness to gain favor and credibility with somebody else, right? And so they will borrow your genuineness to get themselves to a higher point for whatever it is that they're seeking to do. And it has nothing to do with you. They don't even care about what you got going on, but they know exactly what to tell you to make you think they're coming into your life to help you. And so that happened to me with my festival in the first year. And it was just all these people coming from different places. And I'm like, wow, these people, big names, and I won't name the brands, they want to work with me. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking, wow, this is such a great opportunity. And when it came time to do the work, to show up, they were nowhere to be found. I lost thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars. I'm talking about over 10K in one day. And I was hurt by that. I was so conflicted, because you have this amazing event on the outside looking, and everybody's there. Wow, this is so amazing, you did this, right? And you're there on those grounds knowing that you already start your day off knowing that you lost over 10 G's, right? And so imagine walking around your event, still having to smile, still having to serve people, and still having to do your event. You can't just, it's happening, you know? And so I remember going to back corner. I was delivering gifts to the artists I had there, and I was trying to keep a straight face. I really was. And one of the artists looked at me. He could tell something was wrong with me. And he's also a friend of me and my husband's. And he said, she said, can you just stop for a second? I'm like, no, I don't have time to stop. I got to pass all these gifts out. He was like, no, just stop for a second. And he said, I want you to look at the grounds, because we sitting on, it was probably about 5-6 acres, maybe. He was like, I want you to just look at the grounds and just look around and look at what you did. And I stopped and I was looking, and I just took it in that moment, and I started crying. So my husband got me, and we went on to an area where I can have some privacy. But it was a bittersweet moment, because it was like, yes, I did it on one hand, but the cost, my God, nobody can prepare you for the cost of your dreams. And it's going to cost you, you know? And so I was just like, whoo. After that, I'm like, if I can make it through that, I can make it through anything.
This episode is sponsored by FBTS. Hey, female founders and YouTube friends. In addition to serving as the host of the Brand Big podcast, I am also the founder of FBTS, an innovative branding and design agency. And so what we do is we humanize brands. And in humanizing brands, we empower female founders, startups, and corporations to authentically connect with their communities and increase their marketability. And so as my free gift to you, I want to offer you a 15-minute brand consultation where you and my team can sit together and discuss how we can help you do that very same thing. View today's show notes to learn how you can sign up for your 15-minute complimentary brand consultation. And now, let's get back to today's episode. Like, that is, God is so amazing, first and
Yeah.
foremost. And you just listen. I was like, this girl anointed. You hear me? You are anointed for that. You are anointed for those assignments and the
Mm,
assignments that the Lord has in your hands now. And He's giving you something so unique,
yeah.
wherein you are, called into those facets, especially the event marketing space. And we talked about this on your podcast. Like, that's not my company's forte. That's not our area, our wheelhouse, right? It is so unique and it comes with so many different, pieces and parts. And not that branding doesn't, because it does in itself overall, but to see you thrive and to have that moment, that pivotal moment where you and your husband's mutual friend just told you, look out and see. Like, I can see that even ties to the promised land. Like, the Lord was showing you,
Oh,
I have built you for this, and I have given you all of this land. He has given you
yeah.
even the city where you are, right? God has given you such a mantle of dominion in that city because you are putting on one of the biggest events that they've ever seen, right? And I know we hadn't got into all of that if you wanted to share that with the audience, but
Right.
that is just so amazing to see you seize those opportunities and take those risks and say, guess what? We getting ready to flip the tables. We getting ready to turn the tables
I love
on
that.
whatever the enemy thought, whatever the people that didn't want this to go through thought, and we gonna prosper. We're gonna prosper
Absolutely.
over here and do everything that is necessary to please the Lord and to serve the people. And so that
Amen.
is so amazing. So amazing. Dia, I want to flow now into how we as creatives, right? We are yet again called to seize opportunities because we're living in an AI immersed world.
Mm,
AI is everywhere, and we cannot, it's no competition to us because God created humans way above technology, right? God is the greatest creator ever, right? That there will ever be. He is the creator, and we're just here, co-creating and
yeah.
things. But his realm of technology is way beyond the things that we can see in reality. And
Yes.
so what you and your brand have is above AI. But for the sake of this conversation and those of the listeners who are trusting in the AI brands and the AI branding rather, Chat GTP, Canva even has it. There are a lot of sales, as SaaS companies that have it. Different arenas, there's AI, right? It's everywhere. It's not going anywhere anytime soon. Can it last forever? Absolutely not. But it's here for a while to stay. So, what have you done behind the scenes on the front side for your brand, your business, so that your clients know that you and the brands that you are over have that human aspect?
Mm. So this is really good because I'm a big AI fan, and just because I believe if you know something, it can kind of remove some of that fear. And so I rather know it than not know it. And so I've compared it. It's a lot of people was talking about, oh, we're not going to need the graphic designers anymore. AI can do it. Well, I've tried to create websites with AI. I've tried to create brand boards with AI. I've played around with it, and I can tell you front hand, it cannot do what graphic designers can do. We're not even close to being to that point yet. So as far as like the human aspect, I'm all about client experience. That's my thing. Like I really, really, really am big on client experience. And I watch people in different settings to see their reactions to certain things and to see what they enjoy the most about a thing. Sometimes when you are the provider, the service provider, you might think your clients enjoy something about what you do, but there may be another aspect that you don't see that they really enjoy. So I'm very big on that, and it helps me with my language and how I'm positioning myself and my company when it comes to um, getting a job. And it's funny because I was doing this last night. I went with my husband to one of his gigs. He was doing karaoke, and I was paying attention to the patrons because by the end of the night, they had already said like they enjoyed him, like enjoyed the karaoke, and he just has this energy about him. And a lot of times he doesn't see what makes him different from other DJs. He like, but I don't do this and I don't do that or I don't have that. I'm like, it doesn't matter. The experience that you're giving them will always top anything else because it's the experience. It's the feeling that they got when they experienced you and your brand, and they're walking out of here happy, and it benefits everybody. And so when it comes to my experience, I want it to be like that. I want when you come to me, maybe you have just been scammed by somebody. Maybe you got something printed and it didn't come out the way you wanted to. Maybe you're even skeptical about hiring me, and you're like, I don't really see how this even makes sense for me, right? I want you to come in and your mindset is completely transformed by the time that you get your print materials, right? Like I want that experience to just be more than what you were bargaining for, more than what you thought you would get. And so I feel like as long as I'm striving to give somebody more than what they paid for, we're good to go. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not losing anything. You can only gain by working with us. And so that's my approach to that.
I absolutely love that, and that makes it so personable because you are literally looking at what the client wants versus what you think they want, because
Hmm.
there can be disassociation and disconnect, and we really have to plug into, like you said, look at the nonverbal cues, to look at what they're saying, and if we offer them surveys or just even throughout the experience, conversations we have with them, they'll say things that they
Yeah.
don't even realize is really a testimonial for our brand. So it's just amazing to have that business relationship with your clients and build that experience. And I love client experience. Like even in building websites in our company, we focus on the user experience. So UX and UI, that's our thing. And we want to make sure that from the first time the people put in the URL, even the URL itself, like we love for our clients to say, oh, I don't have a website, or I'm rebranding, I'm changing the name and I need help with that. We love that level of brand strategy and, us being in on the front, of the building stage,
Yeah.
because we can even help them for their users to say, "Oh my god, that's a long website to type in. Like, I ain't gonna remember
Yeah.
that." Creating simple, simplistic things and making that user experience, that client experience, just so seamless and just so ideal and even luxurious. Like, luxurious doesn't always mean black and gold, right? So many people see that when they think luxury.
Yeah.
Luxury can also mean top-notch convenience and white glove service. So I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely love that you do that for your brands, and I have seen you again from the outside looking in, but what you put online and the reviews and the things that I've seen, it's just amazing. And so, Dia, I have been super blessed by this episode. You have just like, oh my goodness, shared so much wealth, so much wealth about your journey. I loved hearing about your story, how you got started, all the things. I want you to now speak to the female founder who is new or early stage, right? And she knows she's called to build this big, bold, innovative, genuine brand. But right now, as she's listening, she feels like she's less than capable. She feels
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't have all the things. I don't have the fancy website. I don't have the huge following. I don't have the capital. I don't even know if I wanna invest in myself because I don't know if it's worth it. What would you say to her?
Mm. So I feel like all of us have been there in some shape or form. Like that's sometimes the foundation. And truly, um, having not having the right mindset is our biggest downfall sometimes because we're only looking at the lack of what we do not have. And if we're constantly looking at what we don't have, we can't see the abundance. And Myron talks about this a lot. And understanding that, first of all, there's people making millions of dollars with no website. There's people making millions of dollars with no POS system. There's people making millions of dollars and they don't have a logo. And so understanding that if you have something that the marketplace wants, I don't care what that is. People are selling like weird toys, like the poop pins. I seen it at Staples the other day, and like pickled flavored drinks. Like if you have something that the market wants, whatever that is, just move forward. Just put one foot in front of the other. Go tell somebody about it and go sell it. That's it. When you start selling, as you start making money, you take that money and invest it in one thing. Okay, maybe get your logo, sell some more. Okay, maybe get your branding suite and sell some more. Get your website. Don't worry about that. Like those things will come, but just start selling. Just start telling people about what it is that you have to offer. Network with more people, start talking to people, and start listening to things that will remove you from being in that space of looking at your lack into thinking about the abundance of what you have. Everybody has a gift. You have something. Maybe you're a good communicator. Maybe you're great with taking pictures, or maybe you are good with your words and writing, right? Maybe you have good audio, like you have a really nice speaking voice. There's so many different things that you can utilize to help increase your platform. But I would first stop and just say, think about what you can do today and do it. And then tomorrow when you wake up, think about what you can do that day and then do it. And then all those little actions will become cumulative and you'll end up waking up one day and realizing that you have this huge $1 million brand. That's what I would say to that person.
Come on. Giving them the playbook for the $1 million brand. I love it. So, Dia, this has been amazing. Again, you have certainly blessed us today on the Brand Big podcast. And I look forward to us continuing our connection and all of the big things that you're doing. I look forward to cheering you on. I want
Thank
you
you.
to share with our audience how they can connect with you. How can they, if they need some print, marketing, like where can they find you?
Okay, so you can find me on pretty much all platforms at DITA Print Studios. My website is ditastudios.co. It's .co, not .com. And you can order any print services that you need there. If it's a custom order, you can place an inquiry on the site. We'll get on the phone, have a conversation so I can see your vision and kind of help you bring it to life. So that's pretty much where you can find me at DITA Print Studios on all platforms.
Awesome. So, listen, YouTube friends, female founders, and our listeners, this has been another powerful episode of the Brand Big Podcast with Dia Morris. And today, I know you've been inspired. I know you have been blessed. I know even you female founders that she gave that word of encouragement to, you have been charged to go out and just do it day by day. Let the actions add up. And I look forward to hearing your testimonies, seeing your comments, and Dia's information will be in the show notes for today's episode. We do look forward to seeing you on the next one.